think of like maybe staying in a relationship too long that wasn't good. Um, Again, it's like hindsight is 2020. Like you can see so much clearer when you're removed from the situation and you have time to reflect on it and think back. But when you're in it, it's much more complex and difficult than just I clearly see what I need to be doing better right now or where I'm going wrong or whatever the situation is. It's much more difficult to see when your judgment, I guess, is clouded by all the other things going on. Or for a relationship like love, for example, you throw love in there, things get much more complicated. And it's like, well, this person was clearly abusing you for however long. And it's like, well, didn't know. Um, so stuff like that, I think, yeah, like, oh my gosh, this conversation I had, could I have said things differently? Of course. Could I have said something better? Of course. But you can't dwell on it. And if a mistake has been made and like you quote unquote did something wrong, going like trying to rectify the situation if you can, I think is always like the best thing to do. I mean, I've tried to do that, but oftentimes it's like either, not received well or is received well. I mean, it just depends where the person's at too, or the organization or whatever it is. Like I could go back and apologize to the organization that I left them hanging high and dry because in my mind, that's how it felt at the time. But looking back, I'm like, no, they'll be fine. They're okay. So again, it's like all about perspective, and not dwelling on the past. Um, but yeah, again, like if I've made an apparent mistake, um, I'm happy to admit when I'm wrong. But there's no need and no like, okay, yes, I was wrong. How do we rectify? You know what I mean? Instead of beating myself up for something that either the person doesn't want to accept the apology and give forgiveness or whatever the case is and can't move on, then I mean, again, like you can only control you. So it's like no sense in beating yourself up over it? I don't know. Is that
There's
crazy?
there's another way to look at this. Let's wrap here. There's another way to look at this
All right.
because you said you beat up on yourself, or no sense in dwelling on the past or beating up on yourself. But I think you've done something rich for yourself that you might be overlooking when it comes to looking back, because a lot of people don't reflect.
Hmm.
They're trying to bury their history, but your history is your intellectual property.
Yeah.
And if you don't go back and make meaning of it, because in like I say, inside of it you might not see the meaning of it. Most time you don't. Meaning come from, I say, 2020 hindsight, right? That's where meaning comes from. So how do I take my experience of being in an organization? Because I did it when I remember when I first I was in Hawaii. I was stationed in Hawaii at the time too, and I came out of command position as well, and I went to Cuba. And I was there for like a year because I got this little Gitmo tour. I'm like, I'm taking it because I'm like going back. I'm going to Cuba. Cuba's like right up the like north of Jamaica. I'm like, I'm gonna hang out in tropics again. But I spent a lot of time reflecting. But this time I was like, how can I make better judgment, better decision? Like, how can I be more supportive of my organization, my leaders? Because I was, I was, I was pushing. Like, I'm very confrontational sometimes. But I was like, I could have done a better job. But we are gonna say that if we want to grow, if we like, I could have not have done better, then maybe that's okay too. But I felt like I can always do better.
Hmm.
I can always do better.